Imagine boarding a flight, ready for a new adventure. Suddenly, disaster strikes. This is the reality of aviation accidents. Today, we explore the tragic story of Proteus 706. We'll uncover the lessons from this incident to improve safety in aviation. On June 25, 1977, Proteus 706 took off from an airport, filled with hope. This plane was part of a critical mission. However, the flight became a tragedy that changed many lives. Understanding what happened can help prevent future accidents. The first step is to look at the aircraft involved. Proteus 706 was a powerful model. It had advanced technology for its time. The flying crew was highly trained and experienced. Yet, this incident reminds us that even the best preparations can fail. Next, let's discuss the conditions on that fateful day. Weather can heavily impact flight safety. On June 25, heavy clouds and low visibility presented challenges. Pilots must make quick judgments. If they hesitate, it can lead to severe consequences. Now, we reach the important part, the flight's progression. Shortly after takeoff, critical systems began to fail. The crew communicated their concerns. However, these warnings were too late. Communication is crucial in aviation. Every second counts when lives are at stake. So, what went wrong? Investigators found several key issues. Mechanical failures contributed to the disaster. Additionally, the crew faced immense pressure. Stress can cloud judgment. It's vital to recognize that human factors greatly influence safety. Let's relate this to everyday life. Think of driving a car in poor conditions. A sudden rainstorm can change everything. Just as a car needs proper maintenance, so do airplanes. Regular checks can save lives. In summary, the tragic flight of Proteus 706 teaches us valuable lessons. Aviation is inherently risky, but we can improve safety. Understanding and addressing human factors can make a difference. Reflect on the lessons learned from this tragedy. Consider what changes can improve aviation safety. Knowledge is power, and we can all contribute to a safer future. If you found this insight valuable, please like and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's discuss how we can promote better flight safety together. On that fateful day, as the clouds loomed overhead, the flight crew remained focused, executing their pre-flight checks diligently. Yet, despite their training, the weight of the situation pressed upon them. They understood the stakes were high. Decisions made in those tense moments would determine the fate of the passengers aboard. As they navigated through the stormy conditions, they communicated their concerns to air traffic control, hoping for guidance while bracing themselves for the worst. Just as they adjusted their flight path to dodge the worst of the storm, an alarming warning light flickered on the control panel. The crew's hearts sank as they recognized the gravity of the malfunction. Immediate discussions ensued, each member weighing the options while the plane shook violently from turbulence. Amid the chaos, they relied on their training but couldn't escape the rising panic as the realization dawned that time was slipping away. It was a moment no one was prepared for, one that would haunt them forever. The crew's grasp of the situation shifted from concern to urgency as they attempted to stabilize the aircraft. "We need to descend now," the captain shouted, eyes scanning for a break in the clouds. The co-pilot quickly relayed this decision to air traffic control, knowing that any further delay could seal their fate. Moments felt like hours as every second passed with agonizing slowness, the vibrations intensified, and the plane groaned under the strain of the turbulence. Each member of the crew fought against fear, focusing on their training and the protocols they had rehearsed countless times. Together, they made a final push towards safety, but the storm's ferocity proved relentless. As they descended, it became clear that the only way out would be a gamble that could either save them or spell disaster. With determination flashing in their eyes, they braced for whatever came next, knowing they must trust their instincts in the battle against nature. The captain's voice broke through the cacophony, "Prepare for an emergency landing. We can't hold this altitude much longer." With adrenaline coursing through their veins, the crew sprang into action. Each member knew their role. They acted as a precise unit, driven by the need to protect the lives on board. The turbulence continued to rattle the aircraft, yet they focused on the immediate task at hand, finding a suitable place to land. "There's an airport 20 miles ahead, I'll communicate with them," the co-pilot shouted, fingers flying across the radio controls. Hope flickered as they caught a glimpse of clearer skies, urging them onward, but their resolve was tested repeatedly as systems failed one by one. The stakes of their mission loomed larger than ever, driving them forward despite the looming threat of disaster. With a shaky voice, the captain responded, "We're coming in hot, brace for impact." As the plane approached the runway, the crew's anxiety reached a fever pitch. The captain's voice, though strained, remained steady as he instructed everyone to prepare for landing. The co-pilot monitored the altitude, desperately hoping for any sign of stability. "If we can just hold together a bit longer," he murmured, gripping the control yoke tighter. Each passing second heightened their awareness of the cruel odds against them, but the team's unwavering determination shone through amidst the chaos. The plane touched down hard on the runway, the impact jarring everyone inside. As the aircraft skidded to a halt, a profound silence enveloped the cabin. Though relief washed over the crew, they understood that the ordeal was far from over. The aftermath of this journey would leave lasting scars. The lessons learned from Proteus 706 would serve as a reminder of the fragility of life, urging all in aviation to cherish safety above all. The silence in the cabin was deafening as the crew members exchanged glances, their thoughts racing. Each one felt the weight of survival pressing upon them, a stark reminder of their shared experience. The captain, regaining his composure, glanced at the co-pilot, who was still processing the intense moments they had just endured. "We made it," the captain breathed, a hint of disbelief lacing his words. As they prepared to deliver the post-landing protocols, the realization of their narrow escape began to sink in. Emergency services rushed onto the tarmac, their presence signaling the end of their turmoil. While they had fought against chaos in the skies, the challenges ahead would focus on the lessons learned from this flight. It was in these raw moments of survival that their dedication to safety solidified, emphasizing the importance of each protocol and decision made in the face of overwhelming odds. The flight attendants emerged from the cabin, faces marked by relief and concern. "Is everyone all right?" one asked, scanning the rows of shaken passengers who, despite the fright, clung to the newfound realization that they were safe. The crew assembled outside, huddled together as emergency responders assessed the situation. At that moment, the bond forged amongst them in adversity became clear. They had faced the tempest together and emerged with an unshakable unity. "We did everything we could," the co-pilot remarked, his voice steadier now, yet laced with the weight of what they had narrowly avoided. Resilience shone through their expressions as they prepared to recount their experience, knowing that change must begin with them. Each had witnessed firsthand the pivotal moments that shaped their flight path, firmly understanding their role in improving aviation safety. As news of the incident spread, the aviation community would rally behind them, ready to digest the lessons of Proteus 706 and transform tragedy into a catalyst for change. In the aftermath, as the crew huddled together, their hearts still racing, they knew they had a responsibility to share their experience. "We need to analyze every detail of what went wrong," the captain stated firmly, determination shining in his eyes. This declaration was more than a response to their ordeal, it was a commitment to enact change. The crew agreed that the pressure they faced and the systems that failed must be thoroughly examined to prevent future tragedies. "Our story might save lives," the co-pilot added, his voice resonating with newfound purpose. Each member understood its significance and the necessity of advocating for better safety measures. As they prepared their reports, they envisioned a future where lessons learned could foster improvements across the aviation industry. The impact of Proteus 706 would extend beyond their personal experiences and ignite a broader discussion about aviation safety and the human factors influencing it. As the weeks unfolded after the incident, the crew of Proteus 706 engaged in detailed debriefings with top aviation experts and accident investigators. They pored over flight data and maintenance records, determined to uncover every factor that had led to their harrowing experience. Each session was filled with rigorous scrutiny, and the challenges they faced came to light, prompting discussions on how to enhance training protocols and system redundancies. The realization that their ordeal could lead to substantial improvements in aviation safety fueled their determination. They began collaborating with safety advocates and regulatory bodies, sharing their insights and personal testimonies, echoing the urgency of learning from perilous situations to prevent further loss of life. As their collective voice grew stronger, they inspired others to prioritize safety, propelling a movement aimed at safeguarding future flights against unforeseen dangers. As the crew worked tirelessly to analyze every detail, they discovered a chilling pattern in the timeline of events leading up to their harrowing flight. Each mechanical failure seemed interconnected, pointing to lapses in maintenance and inspections. "We should have caught this sooner," the co-pilot sighed, his frustration palpable. They delved deep, looking into previous incidents that had been brushed off, believing they were isolated events. The potential consequences of overlooking such crucial signs weighed heavily on their minds, propelling their collective resolve to advocate for comprehensive reviews of existing safety protocols. "We have the power to influence change," the captain asserted, and the team nodded, united in purpose. With renewed vigor, they crafted presentations that would articulate their findings, ensuring that their lessons were not just anecdotes but guides for safer skies. By sharing their experience, they hoped to transform the tragedy of Proteus 706 into a foundation for better standards, appealing to both existing personnel and those entering the aviation field. As the crew prepared for a comprehensive review of their harrowing experience, they realized the value of collaboration with industry experts. "Let's bring in the best minds," the captain suggested, envisioning a task force dedicated to enhancing safety measures. Eagerly, they reached out to engineers, safety psychologists, and regulatory officials, building a coalition that reflected their commitment. The room buzzed with ideas during their initial meeting, where seasoned professionals and the crew of Proteus 706 exchanged insights. "Every detail matters," a safety engineer declared, emphasizing the need for thorough investigations into mechanical failures and pilot stress. As discussions deepened, outcomes began to emerge, including proposals for improved training models that adapt to the complexities of flying under pressure. "We need to ensure pilots can navigate not just physical challenges but psychological ones too," the co-pilot insisted, drawing from their shared experience. Collectively, they drafted a plan that would seek to change how aviation viewed human factors, incorporating stress management and decision-making tactics. Amidst these brainstorming sessions, a sense of unity emerged, highlighting the shared mission of enhancing safety in a profession that held so many lives in its hands. "We must think outside the box," a regulatory official urged, pushing for innovations that could reshape current practices. The crew nodded in agreement, realizing the necessity of embracing new technologies and methodologies. "Collaboration is our strongest tool," the captain proclaimed, igniting a renewed determination among those present. As they mapped out their strategy, they envisioned a future where every flight reflected their commitment to safety, weaving together the human element and technical precision into the fabric of aviation. Each member of the task force felt a surge of hope, knowing that through their efforts, the memory of Proteus 706 could lead to a transformative change in the industry, ultimately prioritizing passenger safety above all else. The journey toward enhanced aviation safety was just beginning, but the crew of Proteus 706 was ready to face the challenge head-on. Each member drew strength from their shared experience, knowing that the bond they had forged would guide them through the complexities ahead. As they presented their findings at industry conferences, they spoke passionately about the urgent need to prioritize safety, often recounting the moments of fear, resilience, and unity that had marked their harrowing flight. Their message resonated, inspiring others in aviation to reflect on their practices, and embrace a culture of safety that valued both human and mechanical integrity. Through collaboration, innovation, and unwavering dedication, they hope to transform the landscape of aviation safety for future generations, ensuring that tragedy would never again overshadow the joy of flight. With each conference, their message gained traction, and the aviation community began to take notice. "We can't afford to forget," the captain remarked, emphasizing the importance of remembering the harsh lessons. Each person in the room listened intently, absorbing their insights and experiences. They formed smaller groups to brainstorm practical safety measures, eager to apply what had been learned from Proteus 706. "Let's focus on actionable steps," suggested a safety advocate, sparking a lively discussion about innovative technologies that could enhance cockpit communication. Their shared goal was clear: to ensure that future flights never faced the same risks again. The legacy of Proteus 706 serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life, and the necessity of prioritizing safety in aviation. Through their unwavering commitment and shared experiences, the crew not only transformed their own futures but also ignited a movement dedicated to safeguarding